muri Shiro-san wa baka ka? Ha ha ha. Iye, ikuzo Dimitri-kun. Hi. Hey guys, Dimitri here, and I'm dark as ever. Now, I'm sure a bunch of you are wondering what's going on. Well, just consider me the dark intellectual half of Shiro-san. I'll be handling the rants from now on. So, this is a big week for a bunch of you folks out there. The widely popular TV series A Game of Thrones is finally coming to an expected end. Now, I personally haven't watched a single episode, nor do I plan to. But I have read a bunch of the books, so much of my analysis is going to stem from that. This is going to be a very superficial discussion. I won't go too deep into details for the sake of those that still plan to watch the series against my better judgment. So, I've been thinking lately, back when the hype of A Game of Thrones was still just growing, a really close friend of mine, practically my brother, asked me to watch the series. Now, being the edgelord that I am, I flatly refused. So instead, we came to a sort of compromise. I would read the books if he listened to a favorite rock band of mine, which he probably never did. But anyway, I did read the first two books, and in the time it took me to do so, this series gathered itself a cult following that, honest to God, sometimes terrifies me, and I really did enjoy the first two books. Anyway, this got me thinking. If A Game of Thrones was originally a manga that got adapted into an anime, would I have chosen differently? So I'm going to break down what this would mean. First up, A Song of Fire and Ice, that is the book series that comprises A Game of Thrones, would fit perfectly as an anime. Why? Well, despite the rather animated look, a lot of anime are actually very mature content-wise. Even the shonen and shoujo classifications often show a lot of very mature content. Unless we're talking shows like Crayon Shin-chan or Doraemon that are specifically targeted at children. So you can see how A Game of Thrones would fit perfectly into this world. Fornication, death, more death, violence, frequent bar scenes, death, rape, death, blood, death. Did I mention death? Now that I think about it, A Game of Thrones would have to be a seinen, that is, anime for a more mature audience. Next is the plot. It's got some very classic anime tropes already. The predictability of how unpredictable it is, some characters protected by thick plot armor, Arya, a bunch of dragons, several harems across the Westeros, fan service, lots of fan service, a main character that claws his way up from absolute shit, and that earns himself a blade, burning his hands in the process. Bestiality, I think. And a favorite couple for people to root for, yeah, I'm talking about the main character and his sister. Or is it the Kingslayer and his sister? Who knows? There is also no lack of incest, in case you didn't catch on to that. There's just one thing very un-anime-like about Game of Thrones. The theme song. I mean, Christ. If A Game of Thrones was anime, the opening would have changed at least 10 times by now, honestly. How can you guys stand to listen to the same song over and over and over without running insane? Regarding the characters, would they be less edgy if they were anime characters? Because to be honest, majority of the bad stuff that happen in the show occur because everyone has their underwear so far up their asses that their brains are nauseated by the smell. An interesting theory I have though is that if The Game of Thrones was an anime, without changing any of the events or occurrences that have happened so far in the series, I feel like a lot less characters would be dead right now. Anime characters as a whole have a sixth sense for dangerous situations and a very stubborn unwillingness to die, even when you really want them to. Whitebeard, for example, took death blow after death blow and still died while standing. The characters in A Game of Thrones are pussies. If A Game of Thrones was an anime, it would have filler episodes, which for me would be an improvement. Why? Well, A Game of Thrones is an emotional roller coaster, an endeavor not recommended for the faint of heart. If light-hearted episodes of mundane and unimportant scenarios were thrown into the mix, as they are in anime, like for instance an entire episode dedicated to Sansa sneaking out of the castle when she was still a prisoner on King's Landing to socialize with the commoners, or a regular day with Jon Snow and his wolf on the wall. Basically what a normal day in the life of the characters looks like, stuff like that to ease some of the tension that comes with the intensity of the main storyline. So, if a Game of Thrones was originally an anime, would I watch it? Almost certainly. But again, that is just me. What about you guys? Do you think the points I raised up are reasonable, or do you think I'm full of shit? Feel free to discuss all of that in the comment section below. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. Thanks for staying with me. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, game till you drop.